Hello,
Assalamu alaikum.
welcome back to Dastan Geeki.
I am the Master Saab.
I am the Dr. Saab, and today we talk about flesh-eating bacteria. No, we actually talk about flesh-eating zombies.
So all these patients that Dr. Saab failed at.
Yeah. So if the patient's family does not pay the bill, I basically revive the patient as an undead, and
How does that benefit you?
it doesn't. It just makes me feel good.
You get extra hospital staff?
And we can always hope that there will come a time there are enough zombies for a zombie epidemic. Where will you go if there's a zombie epidemic?
Yeah, no matter what happens, मेरे दिमाग में हमेशा यही आता है, I'm just gonna run to a mall. And it's not gonna be the safest place, but there's so much mall connected to zombies, I can't help it, man.
But which mall will you go to over here? Like
Well,
in Karachi?
at first it used to be Dolmen, Two Towers? Is it called Two Towers?
Park
Towers. Now I guess it's Dolmen Mall.
Yeah, I think, but if you think about it, Dolmen Mall is so big. Will you
I
be
know,
able to
I know.
protect yourself?
No, you won't. Dolmen Mall's got too many entrances and whatnot.
There, yeah, I think, I would still run for Park Tower because the entrances are manageable over there.
Can zombies use lifts?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they have the brain function high enough for them to decipher what button to press or what. But tell me this, if assuming you're in Dolmen Mall, I'm in Park Towers, and there are like zombies all outside, and you hear people honking across the building, they're like, let us in. Will you risk letting them in?
Well, if I'm in Park Towers, maybe I hear them honking. I don't think I'll hear them honking in Dolmen Mall, right?
Well, you're outside, you're in one of those balconies, and you're looking across, and you see somebody across the building, and they're like, we're out of food, we're out of water. We're gonna risk running through this horde of zombies. Let us in.
Yeah.
You let them in.
Yeah.
But what if while letting them in, like something happens and zombies, all of them come inside?
That's the risk you have to take.
So you'll take that risk.
Yeah.
Why?
Because there are people outside and lives have to be saved, etc., etc.
But you can always say like, okay, let's try. I'll try getting food across to you.
Oh yeah, if they're saying, hey, the danger, we just need food, we want to come in, then yeah, I'll do that as well.
They would want to come in, but I'm just saying you'll be like, okay, let's take it one step at a time. Let me try to get food across to you. And if that doesn't work,
no. I think if the situation, even if there is a 40-50% risk factor, then I'll try to sneak them in, because at the end of the day, you cannot be on your own, live alone like this in a mall with zombies outside. You get crazy. You yourself would actually want to get people in. I think that's one of the things that these zombie movies get wrong. They just focus too much on the survival bit, and I don't think mankind is that simple. Everything is just primal survival. I mean, if you remember the vampire book, जिसके ऊपर घटिया मूवी बनी थी, Will Smith वाली.
Which one? Oh,
Legends. I Am Legend, right? So I Am Legend, at the end of the day, that was the whole.
So you were telling us about I Am Legend. The primal survival.
Okay, I think what a lot of these movies get wrong. Well, not get wrong. I mean, that's the genre, is survival horror. But what happens is, I think it just simplifies how humanity works. That's the requirement of the movie. But I don't think humanity works that way. It's just about primal survival. If you remember the I Am Legend book, not the movie, not the Will Smith movie. I guess it was a bit in the Will Smith movie as well. I can't remember that movie. But in the book, that was such an important aspect. The problem wasn't that he had to stay alive. The problem was that he needed human contact. He needed a social setup. Otherwise, he's as good as dead. And he would be willing to risk his life to somehow get some other human contact. I think that's and we've seen some of that in some comics maybe, but not too much in movies.
Oh, that it's there in the movies, but then but the overall lining of it all is that mankind is the worst animal.
That's-
the mankind
that's-
is the worst monster.
That's the Romero vision, yes. But I think that's an aspect that a lot of these zombie movies have focused a lot on, right? And I think they need to now show some other stuff, you know. I mean, zombie movies, look, at the end of the day, a genre like the zombie movie, it can only stay alive, and although this is a revival, if it keeps reinventing itself and shows us different aspects, which it does. Like, I mean, one of the aspects that they change is how the zombie mechanics work. I mean, for the longest time, they were slow-walking zombies. We got sick and tired of it. Now they're fast-running zombies, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just the mechanics. It's the mechanics as well. It's also how humanity is portrayed. You know, the world vision of the author, humanity, it needs to change as well. Otherwise, it gets boring, man.
True,
You know?
that's true. When they did the remake of Dawn of the Dead, I was like, why are they doing? But it was a good movie.
Oh, it was a good remake.
And they took the same premise. And,
It's like one of those things in which you do a remake, it's true to the original, but it stands on its own as well.
yeah.
You know, there are not a lot of good remakes, but the ones that are, this is an example of a good remake. Yeah.
This is an example of a good remake.
I also like Fright Night as a good example
good.
of a remake, you know.
I know it kept its own and had
Yeah.
its moment. It was fun. Well, they're remaking Matrix now, but I don't know.
हाँ
let's see.
पहले भी मैंने सुना था.
Yeah.
For something like Matrix, I don't see a point in it being a remake, man. They should just have other characters in the same universe or a continuation or a parallel. Matrix as a remake just makes no sense.
Or just continue it as they said.
That's
okay,
what yeah.
In the movie they say, okay, this is like a cycle which
Yeah.
people
know?
break through and then they
You know, or just show some other part. I mean, this one thing which I always found very interesting in The Matrix. In part 2, they brought it up. And a lot of people just missed it or skimmed by. I'm like, why? If they've brought it up, then why wasn't it explored? Maybe not in the main movies, but in some other side franchise. Is they go that, you know, certain glitches and stuff in the Matrix and Renegade programs, they like to masquerade as supernatural creatures. I don't know if you remember this, but in the Matrix there were werewolves. They never turned in front of us, but they were werewolves. They said, hey, they're werewolves and they can only be killed by silver bullets. So the good guys, they actually went and killed them with silver bullets.
Yeah.
And everybody missed that. So in the Matrix universe, there are things as werewolves and vampires and superheroes.
Glitches in the program. But I don't know what you're talking about. Matrix 2, Matrix 3. Is there a thing called Matrix 2, Matrix 3? I don't think it exists.
Oh, you're
There's
talking
only-
about
there's only
Reloaded?
Matrix. There's only
Oh,
Matrix.
yeah, that way.
And
Yeah.
because they made Matrix which blew our minds away.
Yeah.
They were like, and then a couple of
Yeah.
years later they were like, let's mess it up. Let's introduce
Yeah,
the concept
man.
of Zion.
I think Matrix 1 was just this really cool movie, and maybe it shouldn't even have sequels, man. I don't know, man.
Unless you have it planned out really well.
Yeah.
Unless
I remember
you-
we had this friend who liked getting his hands on scripts and stuff, and he had gotten his hands on an earlier script of The Matrix,
Yeah.
and it was a totally different concept. It was called Matrix: The Apex Twins,
The Apex Twins.
APEX, and you know.
What was that?
You remember those very minor two villain characters
In
who were
this-
in part 2 who were like always
Ghosts,
dressed in
yeah,
white? They're like
white.
ghosts, right? Apparently, the original story was a lot focusing on them as the main villains and etc. So like I guess like a villain of the every movie has a separate villain and a
Yeah,
different story
yeah.
kind of feel to it. But then they went and said no, everything's connected and totally integrated and
Let's do orgies. Yeah, it just totally messed it up.
yeah.
So going back to zombies, Master
Hmm.
Sam, what was your first encounter with a zombie?
Well, I remember I was 8 or 12 years old and ये मेरा एक दोस्त रहता तारेक रोड में, ठीक है ना, तो शाम का वक्त था, मगरिब के बाद थी, बोलते थे मगरिब के बाहर बात नहीं निकला करो. So I was walking down the street, cars couldn't go in that alleyway, so I was walking by and there was this fakir, right, and this is like this beggar. I seen like this and like groaning and taking out the voices, and so I was walking by and I'm like, huh, what's this? And at first I thought, it's just a jersey or something, right? And then he's like, he's huddling out on something, and like, he must be smoking up, and I saw like trickles of blood coming out, and then lifted his head, and like raw meat on his face, and that was my first kind of zombie. But in terms of which movie I saw first zombie, yeah, it was actually the same one, the Night of the Walking Dead. Night of the Walking Dead, right? That's the one with the mall.
The Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead, right. So incidentally, Dawn of the Dead was my first encounter in which I like saw snippets and stuff, like 2-3 minutes. I was too young, so they said close your eyes. But the actual zombie movie that I saw, the first ever zombie movie that I saw, was again one of these in which they're all in barracks. All the soldiers are in barracks.
Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead. Yeah, I think.
I don't know.
There's
one zombie tries to shave and he turns like into a good, like he's kind of like he feels sort of. That was my first zombie movie that I actually saw, like a proper zombie movie from beginning to end.
True.
What's yours? What's the first one you saw?
I remember clearly Dawn of the Dead. I saw it in I think 87, 88. I wasn't that pretty young. But I remember I specifically
the mall one,
remember
Dawn
the
of the
mall
Dead,
one.
yeah.
And I have this memory engraved inside my head of a Hare Krishna zombie who's walking around.
I didn't remember that one, right?
Yeah, he's the zombie that basically makes his way to the back room and he opens the door and basically. So I specifically remember that scene and him grabbing onto, like he's got a hand in his. He's got an arm in his hand and he's taking.
Like a snack.
Yeah, it was insane. Scary, man. I mean,
so that kind of got stuck in your head. I think the one that an image that got stuck into my head is the one I'm talking about. They're in the hospital and the cadavers, and this cadaver just stands up and all his intestines and stuff fall out. And he gets a drill machine and drills his head.
The best thing about the George Romero zombie movies from the past is the special effects were so
disgusting.
Amazingly done, man. I mean, I don't know how they did it, but this time around, you watch Walking Dead and everything, and you can totally see it's all CGI most of it.
Oh yeah, I mean, one of the early problems I had with Walking Dead is even the blood splatter from bullet wounds was all CGI. That was disappointing, man.
I know. So, but Romero was purist, man. He was like, I'm gonna use.
No, Khazwano to tha bhi nahi option. But actually, now that I think of it, my first exposure to a zombie on TV was actually not this movie. It was actually Michael Jackson Thriller. That was actually the first time I saw zombies.
True. Yeah, I don't remember if I saw that first or Dawn of the Dead. I can't really say for sure. But
yes, and then in a very short time I saw the same thing with Matan Chakravarti, and I am a disco dancer.
So yeah, when I saw Dawn of the Dead, I was like blown away. I think it was probably my second horror film. The first one was obviously Evil Dead. We're gonna do like a whole show to
Oh, we should.
So I saw Dawn of the Dead, and then whenever I'd go to the show, I didn't know if it's what a zombie is. So I used to be like, I want a movie similar to this. Then he gave me Night of the Living Dead, which when I saw, I was like, what the hell, what is this? It was black and white, the first one.
Oh, right. Okay.
Obviously, it was black and white. It was a low-budget movie. It blew people's mind away back in its days, but I saw it after Dawn of the Dead, so I wasn't that impressed by it.
Right.
But they did a remake which was good,
and
which was like prequel to the remake Dawn of the Dead and everything. But an interesting fact about Night of the Living Dead. The interesting fact is that when Romero released it, he forgot to copyright it. And
so they had these sequels which were not
not only sequels, like anybody can take that movie and edit scenes into it and call it his own.
Whoa!
Like, you could take that movie, it's black and white, you can add color to it and release it in the theaters, and he can't do anything about it.
Bloody hell. No, because I remember there was like a whole bunch of cheap Italian zombie movies called Night of the Living Dead 2, Return of the Night of the Living Dead, Night of the Living Dead Reloaded.
So basically he forgot to copyright the term The Living Dead, which then I think I'm sure he looks back and he's how you अपने lawyer को बोलता हो you son of a bitch.
Fair हो गया man.
Why you do
Imitation is the best form of flattery.
Flattery, true.
So zombies in I'll tell you. I don't know if you ever checked it out, but apparently one of the earliest or the first zombie movie was White Zombie. And it was black and white, and that's the one which really. See, what Romero did is Romero presented us with the Hollywood model of the zombie, right?
Yeah.
But zombie roots are in Haitian culture and Haitian religion. It's not. They're not going around eating people, by the way.
Voodoo magic.
Exactly. So yeah, I saw that. It was
the best movie, I think, White Zombie. I'm sure, like, I don't know if it's aged well or not. But
no, not really. I got bored, but
Yeah.
I still watched it.
So I think the best movie to experience something like that is Angel Eyes. It's that.
Oh, the voodoo with the Robert De Niro.
The Robert De Niro. Mickey
Yeah.
Rourke.
Well, yeah. Well, as if well, in that case,
Yeah.
not because it's a high quality movie, but it's just the things that are happening. It my favorite zombie movie is The Serpent and the Rainbow.
Which one is that? I forget.
Well, it's got Bill Pullman. Not Bill Pullman. Who was the president in Independence Day?
Bill Pullman.
Bill Pullman.
Yeah.
Bill. Really? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Bill
I
Pullman's
think
in
I
it.
know which movie you're talking
That was basically is based on a true story about this author
Yeah.
who goes to Haiti to figure out what
And he
the
experiences,
zombie the
whole
zombie
thing.
toxin is all about, and how there are various groups and governments officials who don't want him to sneak that out, and
Yeah.
it was pretty cool, man. So what was interesting about that is so I saw that movie when I was young. I didn't get it. I saw it later. I kind of got it. And then somehow, in fact, you won't even believe where. There was one of the, I shouldn't mention actual school names, right? But a popular school over here, let's give it an alternate name, Lighthouse School, right? You know, lighthouses that shine a beacon of light somewhere, you know, so it was one of those schools, right?
Okay.
So I found The Serpent and the Rainbow, the book,
Yeah.
in its library.
Maybe it's probably some literature thing.
And it was really cool because what happened, so there's certain things in the movie I thought, oh come on, that's just for the movie, right? For example, the author, they supposedly grabbed the author
Yeah.
and nailed his testicles on the chair with a nail and a hammer. And like, man, that's just, that's just him being creative in the movie. Well, that actually happened to the poor guy, man.
Oh, fucking hell. But yeah, so yeah, that's zombie. So, Walking Dead, do you think it's becoming like an overkill now?
So yeah, I think it's on the last season, right?
No, they said Walking Dead will never end.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, I watch it. It's fun, and I watch it every week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, look, when something starts and something is new and brand new, whoa, a zombie TV series, obviously, it's
Yeah,
going to be great in the beginning.
Let's
you know?
be honest, man. I mean, I think the George Romero was right when he said it, that man is the ultimate evil creature. I mean, back in the day, like, go back 10, 15 years, and you find out that there's a Spider-Man movie coming out, and you're like, oh my god, Spider-Man movie, oh. And then you find out there's a Daredevil movie coming out, and you're like, blow my mind.
We're ungrateful.
Yeah, we're ungrateful bastards. Is what we are. And I could never imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, getting Walking Dead the comic, a monthly comic out, blew our mind.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh my god, we're gonna have like a monthly.
And now we got sick and tired of it.
And now we're acting like. So are we?
Yeah, so
tired?
what's the big deal, man? It's just a zombie show,
What
man.
is the big deal? Exactly. So I mean, this is what we
Well,
always.
so yeah,
wanted.
I think at the end of the day, that's what entertainment is. It needs to keep itself fresh, and I think our tendency to stick to something as viewers overall, I mean, wo kami ho rahi hai na.
So, what is the next thing that we're always like, man? I wish if they could do this.
Well,
It
in
was
the
so
in the
awesome.
context of zombies, right? I think it needs to find ways to reinvent itself now, because I think it's doing good. It's still going to do good for a couple of years, but eventually it needs to reinvent itself. So I think the next reinvention of the zombie movie or TV show would actually be zombies in situations or in genres that we're not used to. Like for example, although we've had some of that,
Yeah.
But like for example, let's suppose zombies in space opera, like in ships, in spaceship, astronaut zombies. You know?
Like and that British show that came out in which
Oh yeah, from the zombies' perspective.
they're rehabilitating zombies.
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
sending them
in the
back to
flesh.
society, in the
Yeah.
flesh.
Oh, you watched that? I
Yeah,
liked it.
saw
I really
some
liked
of
it actually.
It was good.
So
Well, yeah, it's something like that.
yeah.
But yeah, so tell me this: zombies or deadites?
Well, Deadites are more fun. It's very interesting that a lot of people actually put the Evil Dead series within the zombie
Within the
genre.
zombie genre. They're not
In fact,
zombies.
I'm very glad you actually said zombies or Deadites. Is that Deadites aren't zombies, man?
I mean, the name says it. They're deadites, like they're dead. They're not the walking dead.
yeah. I mean, those bodies are inhabited by intelligent, sentient, demonic spirits.
Yeah.
And it's not the same as zombies.
So if a person, we're gonna do a show about this. There's nothing like it's not like we're not gonna do, but it's just a thought that's come to my mind. So if a person gets possessed by a demonic spirit and becomes a deadite, is there way back? Do they come back?
Yeah,
ever?
Ash did.
Yeah, but Ash is like the chosen one. Anyone besides Ash?
Let me think. Yeah. In Army of Darkness, Sheila.
Does Sheila come back?
Yes.
Ah.
Yes.
Okay. Because in the movie, is the first, second.
Well,
movie
you see, but
once.
you got to understand one thing about the Evil Dead universe. It's not about having these rules that work. It's about, hey, whatever is cool for the story at that point, A direct could be this 1 second, it could be something that goes in your body and kills you right there and there, or it could be somebody that can't do that, and in your mind you have a battle with it. It's just going to be a different every time. I mean, there are no hard and core rules. Like Evil Dead, if you would convert it into, like, let's suppose, like a role-playing game or a video game, right? It's very difficult because you're going to have, that, in a way, that will kill the feel of Evil Dead, which is, you don't have to follow any rules, It's not like vampires, okay, a cross will have a vampire stay away.
Yeah.
It's not like that in Evil Dead. It's like, okay, right now, if that happened, that will look cool, or later on, it won't work because that'll be cooler.
True, that's true. And speaking of games, I remember 96, 97 when Resident Evil came out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that was another little zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So their version of zombies is also slightly different, which the bite does not actually make you a zombie.
It doesn't? I don't remember.
If you're bitten by it and you die, and then you come back as a zombie.
All right.
I think they changed it for the movie. The movie.
I know they keeps. I don't know. The zombies keeps mutating and.
The movie is the
The only thing I remember, the only thing that I really liked about the Resident Evil games initially was those dogs.
So,
So,
yeah, that's what I was talking about, thinking about, which led me to Resident Evil. That the next evolution in Walking Dead or something, it should be zombie animals.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Why not?
In fact, I'll tell you one thing that I've always thought would be a cool idea. Zombie raptors, zombie dinosaurs.
Imagine, man, zombie ants. Like, there's so many. You don't even know when you might get bitten by.
Oh, but by the way, there is such a thing.
What?
Zombie insects.
Like in real life, or
Yes.
What do they do?
Well, the various bugs and bacteria that go into host bodies, they go in, they start controlling them. Eventually, the bug just dies, and that the host dies. I mean, and lots of examples. Like for example, there's this. I saw this on Animal Planet. This is bee, and what it does it injects its venom into its favorite target is a cockroach, by the way, and this is a bee that actually lays its eggs in the ground. It's a hornet, some kind of a hornet. So it injects some kind of toxin, and what the cockroach does, it becomes a zombie, becomes this mindless thing.
A drone,
And literally what the bee does is just says, follow me. It brings the cockroach, takes it to the nest, makes it sit there where it's pupae, larvae, whatever you call them are. It sits on top of them, protecting them, serving them, goes away, and it's alive. It's there protecting the eggs, and then when they hatch, instant food. Then they eat the cockroach.
Damn, man. So I think time is running out. So
All
one
right.
last question: zombie apocalypse. Favorite weapon?
Favorite weapon?
Yeah.
Well, I would like to say chainsaw because I'm an Evil Dead fan, and
let's be realistic.
realistically, I think the only access I'll have to weapons is whatever I find in the kitchen, and I don't have a choice. You know?
Yeah.
So,
I'll try to get my hands somehow. I know I'm going to be terrible at guns because I've never really used them.
Oh.
I'm going to try to get my hands on an axe or something.
I don't know. I think for me, a hockey stick. Hockey stick would be fine. I know, but I've never seen any lying around. You know, I've never seen a gun lying around. I've never seen a chainsaw lying. So I think the closest, the best. I mean, I would prefer a hockey stick over a knife. I'll tell you that.
Okay, I'll help you out. Okay, if it happens, there's a zombie apocalypse, whatever's happening, just open up the dicky of the car and take out the wrench.
Yeah, well, that kind of helps. Yeah, I still want a hockey stick, man.
We don't have hockey stick.
I have a hockey stick?
Hockey is our national game, we don't play.
No, cricket is our national game, I think.
Hockey.
Oh, hockey is alright. But the point is this. I have a hockey stick.
Oh, you have the table tennis sticks.
Those paddles, they're not going to work.
Yeah.
No, I prefer hockey stick because of the reach thing. The reach factor. Knife is like getting too close, man.
But the hockey stick might break. You need something sharp to break.
It's not going to break, man. Pakistan makes the best sports equipment there is, man.
But knowing us, we always buy stuff which is like, oh, this is imported from
I don't. I only buy local stuff.
I got
Please.
this from all.
Every toilet has Lifebuoy, okay?
So there you have it, folks. Grab yourself an axe or a hockey stick, like in case of Mr. Master, and start swinging away. But always wait for confirmation. Maybe the guy is alive, like Bill Murray from Zombieland.
अबे नहीं seriously यार CV में जाओ और दूसरा चर्सी इतने भरे रहते हैं.
If it happens, like, who do you think will be our equivalent of Bill Murray, a celebrity who's dressed up as a zombie so he can survive?
Oh, I know which one, man. जिसकी अभी latest movie बनी थी. क्या नाम है उसका? That pasty face guy.
The Shah Rukh Khan?
Yes.
So yeah. No, I think if you see him walking around, don't wait for confirmation. Just swing away. So have a nice week.
All right, bye.
Bye.